Greetings, YouTube. The doctor is in. Dr. Urias Papers here, coming at you with another commentary on Marvel Contest of Champions. And yesterday, we had a Kabam live stream, so they're announcing what's coming up for basically the next 6 months in the game. And they did announce and went over the new side quest stuff that's coming out next Wednesday. But there's some other stuff that they announced that is pretty significant. We're going to talk about that, but first, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you have any questions or comments, please leave a question or comment, and don't forget to hit that notification bell. All right, so we have got an announcement of more Everest content. So they announced their Everest content plan. If you don't know what that is, then that is basically the content that sticks around forever in the game. It's things like Necropolis and the Abyss and the 7-star challenge and gauntlet things like that. This is kind of like that. Now, there is an Eternity of Pain that is in the Everest content, but in addition, that also came, and that's in there right now as a Karina's challenge, but in addition, there was content associated with that accumulated points, and you got rewards for it. So we're going to talk about that. So they made this announcement. Here's the slide that made the announcement. Coming in 2024, this stuff, and this is basically how this general content is going to work. So each season is going to last for 3 months. There is going to be one fight every 2 weeks. Energy cost is 5 per node. They're telling us it's 2 nodes, so it's going to cost 10 energy. The final month is going to be all 4 previous fights plus 2 new fights, and there's 2 paths. And essentially that is going to be what we saw with Eternity of Pain as well. And I imagine the plan is eventually that this is going to get dumped into the Everest part of the game, where we see Road to the Labyrinth, Labyrinth of Legends, the Abyss, Necropolis, all that stuff, and then it'll be this last part. And the Eternity of Pain stuff is dumped in there. The Summer of Pain stuff came and went. That didn't really make its way in there. So the first 4 fights will have 2 Paragon objectives and 1 Valiant objective. So this will be open for Paragon players and up, essentially. And then the finale, which is the 4 previous fights plus the 2 new fights, that finale is going to have 4 Paragon objectives and 2 Valiant objectives. So what is the schedule? Here is the schedule for the first. So remember, they announced each season lasts for 3 months. So here's the schedule for the first season, which is the Winter of Woe. So the first fight for Winter of Woe, which is, as they announced in the previous slide, is 1 fight. The first one is going to be released next week. So it's going to be released on February 7th, which is the same day we're getting the side quest stuff. And then every 2 weeks after that, so we're going to get February 21st, March 6th, March 20th, and then the finale is going to be released April 3rd to May 1st. Now, they did say that you have 2 weeks to get this done because the February 7th is going to be replaced by Fight 2 on February 21st. So you're going to have 2 weeks to get this done, and once it's gone, it's gone. Eventually, I think the finale one is going to end up in the Everest material where Necropolis and all that is, and there'll probably be something. I'm speculating at this point, but there'll probably be something that is associated with Karina's challenges and things like that. So this is the schedule here for Winter of Woe, which is the first one we're going to talk about. In the last slide here, we're going to talk about the other fights that they're coming out with. So Winter of Woe rewards, here they are. So there's milestones and you get points. And the more points you get, obviously, the higher the rewards are. And I think they said once you hit the points, you get the reward. So if you do the first, and you're going to get so many points, and I think they're going to have some objective that is associated with this. We had this with Eternity of Pain too. You got you did a certain thing and you got points, and then you got through it. So milestone 1 is going to be 1 point, and it's 10,000 6-star shards. Milestone 2, and I think if I understand this correctly, they said you're going to get these rewards right when you hit the milestone. So milestone 2 is going to be you're going to need 3 points to get that, and that is going to be 15,000 6-star shards, 1 tier 6 basic, and 1 tier 3 alpha. Again, milestone 1 is 10,000 6-star shards, 1 tier 6 basic, and 1 tier 3 alpha. I'm not sure. They've got R3, RD, more rewards, and big rewards. I think they're categorizing something there. So milestone 3, which is 6 points, 6-star Abyss Nexus Crystal, 100 6-star generic SIG stones, 1 tier 6 basic, 1 tier 3 alpha, and 125% tier 6 class catalyst selector. So all this stuff is good. It's okay for Valiant players, but it's really good for Paragon players. If you're Thronebreaker, unfortunately, you're not going to be able to do this. So milestone 4, 9 points, a half a 7-star, so 7,500 7-star shards, 100 SIG stone generic SIG stone, 6 stars, 1 tier 6 basic, 1 tier 3 alpha, and 1 25% tier 6 class catalyst selector. Milestone 5, 12 points. There's your tier. They don't say how many. I'm going to imagine it's probably going to be 100, maybe 150, but it's probably going to be 100. That's only speculation on my part, of course. Got the tier 6 basic, the tier 3 alpha, and then another 25% tier 6 class catalyst selector. Milestone number 6, 15 points. A third of a Titan crystal, so that's 5,000 Titan crystal shards. A half of the 7-star tier 6 basic, tier 3 alpha, and 1 25% tier 6 class catalyst selector. So Paragon Peak is milestone 7 at 18 points. This is where we're going to get our Deathless piece, and this is, I guess, the final piece that you can get for the Deathless Groot. We are going to, here's the biggie. Here's the biggie, because this is the first time they've given these away for free, essentially. Free-to-play players are now going to have access to Tier 4 Alpha, which is a half a 1. You need 3 to get a 7-star from rank 2 to rank 3. So you're getting a half a 1. You're getting a sixth of what you need to get a 7-star from rank 2 to 3, which is what you need. You need 2 of those to become Valiant. So this is the first time this is happening. So 28,500 Tier 4 Alpha fragments, a Tier 6 Basic, a Tier 3 Alpha, and a whole Tier 6 class Catalyst Selector, and 5 7-star Sigstone Crystals. Those are the randos, but this is also the first time that we've seen 7-star Sigstone Crystals. All right, now, Milestone 8, Paragon players cannot get Milestone 8. That is only for Valiant players, 21 points. We're getting another third of a Titan Crystal, so 5,000 Titan Crystal Shards, so that's 10,000 total. We're getting another half a Tier 4 Alpha. So if you did Milestone 7 and 8, you get a full one. Tier 6 Basic, Tier 3 Alpha, Tier 6 Class Catalyst, and 5 more 7-star Sig Stones. Milestone 9, which is 24 points, that's the last one. Only Valiant players can do it. We're getting 10,000 Titan Shards, so if you did all of them, you're going to get a fully formed Titan Crystal. We're getting another half of a Tier 4 Alpha, so this is going to be worth 1.5 Tier 4 Alpha, which is half of what you need to get a 7-star from rank 2 to rank 3. Tier 6 Basic, Tier 3 Alpha, Tier 6 Class Catalyst, and 10 7-star generic Sig Stones. So not very many. So those 7-star Sig Stones are worth a lot right now, as are the Tier 4 Alpha fragments. Okay, so that's the rewards that we're getting. And they spelled more rewards wrong. M-O-R-E. Maybe they did that on purpose. I don't know. So this is this is a comparison of Paragon versus Valiant rewards. Paragon players will be able to get a half of a Tier 4 Alpha, whereas Valiant are getting 1.5. Both can get a Deathless piece. Paragons can get some 7-star Sig Stones, whereas, and these are crystals, the rando ones, whereas Valiant players are getting twice as many. No generics for Paragon, 10 for Valiant. We're getting a full Titan for Valiant. We're getting a third of one for Paragons. You're getting a fully formed 7-star crystal, which is, we're getting that in the form of shards. Okay, here it is. 200 tier 2 primordial dust for both. 4 total 25% tier 6 class catalyst selectors for both. 1 fully formed class catalyst selector for Paragon, whereas Valiants are getting 3 of the tier 6 class catalysts. That you need to get a 6-star from rank 4 to rank 5. Paragons are getting 7 tier 6 basics. Valiants are getting 9. Paragons are getting 7 tier 3 alphas. Valiants are getting 9. Both are getting 1 6-star Abyss Nexus crystal. Both are getting 25,000 6-star shards, and both are getting 200 6-star generic Sigstones. So it's coming out next week, and then you got 2 weeks to get it. So if you're Paragon, you better start thinking about what you need to do to become Valiant, so you can get the extra tier 4 alpha fragments. You can get the extra 7-star Sigstones. You can get the generic Sigstones, and you can get the extra Titan shards. Because otherwise, you're just getting the Paragon rewards, and you're going to stop at a certain point. And you're going to need to get that first one done to really get the milestones. So you need to start thinking about that. So the difference actually doesn't start until milestone 7. That's where the difference starts. So start thinking about that and what you need to do to get to Valiant. Because right now the only path to Valiant for free-to-play players is to 100% explore Necropolis. That is the only path. So if you are not Valiant right now, then you're stuck until you do that. And they're putting this material out and Necropolis is out at the same time, which means it's going to be draining a lot, and I mean a lot, of revives out of people and units. Because revives equals units and units equal revives for a lot of content now. All right, so here is the other Everest content that they have announced. So remember that Winter of Woe goes until May. And then after that, we're going to get Spring of Sorrow, Summer of Suffering, Autumn of Agony. So Spring of Sorrow starts in May and goes to July, and then we're getting Summer of Suffering from August to October. And then Autumn of Agony goes from November to January. Really, Autumn of Agony only includes I guess half of it, because winter doesn't actually start until December 21st. Summer doesn't actually end until September 21st. And spring doesn't actually start until June 21st. So these are half of the spring is actually spring, half of the summer is actually summer, and half of the autumn is actually autumn. But these are the next ones. I imagine that if you do, the rewards are going to be very similar for Paragon players for all of these, where it's going to be half of one of these. So Winter of Woe, you're going to get a half. Probably Spring of Sorrow, my speculations, you're going to get a half. Summer of Suffering is a half, so that's 1.5, maybe 2. I'm hoping they don't cut it out short for everyone that's Paragon to get those Tier 4 alphas, and they only give out a total of 2 for it. And, that's going to kind of suck. Because they may want everybody to have to make that up by buying stuff out of the store. Because we are going to have, I'm hoping there's going to be a Valentine's Day event. We are going to have a spring cleaning event. And then we are going to have, within this, we're going to have a July 4th event. And within this time frame, we're going to have another Cyber Weekend event. So there may be some Tier 4s that get given out during that time too. Enough for other players to become Valiant without having to do Necropolis. But it is what it is. All right. That is the video I have for everybody today. I appreciate everybody tuning in, and I will catch everybody later.